in the pre-chorus, it says, I've been trying to find the opposite of loneliness. There ain't a word for it. Oh, hello. Hello, cat.
Hello, for the second time. I'm very happy that
Cheers.
Cheers, exactly. I'm very happy that you decided to talk to me again about your music, because we talked a few months ago. But there are some news, because there will be an EP. I read there are new songs and so on. What are we talking about at first? Perhaps about your new EP, which is called Finding the Opposite of Loneliness, which will be released on 16th of September.
Yeah.
Is that right? Do you want to tell me something about it?
Sure. Well, my EP is called, you told everybody already, everything you need to know. It's called Finding the Opposite of Loneliness. And I was really intrigued by that concept. It came from a song that I wrote called Miracle, which is one of the singles off the project that's coming out on the 16th. And my favorite lyric from that song is in the pre-chorus. It says, I've been trying to find the opposite of loneliness. There ain't a word for it. Oh, hello. Hello, cat. Because there isn't a word for the opposite of loneliness. It's not togetherness, not happiness. There is no one word for the opposite of loneliness. And so I was intrigued by that idea, because what that really means is your opposite of loneliness might be different from my opposite of loneliness, right? So it's, for me, it's people. It's but the word isn't, people isn't the opposite of loneliness. And togetherness isn't the opposite of loneliness. But for me, my opposite of loneliness is being with other people. But for some people, being with other people might be the loneliest place in the world. So I was always really intrigued by that concept and thought it was really interesting. So as I say in all the concerts that I do, I want to find the opposite of loneliness together. And so it's called The Opposite of Loneliness, and it's split, Finding the Opposite of Loneliness, and it's split into two parts. So the first half of the EP is when I am not finding the opposite of loneliness, when I'm experiencing loss or depression. And depression has always been a really big part of my life. I've been fighting it since college. And for me, I felt it important to talk about, and also talk about my relationship with it and how to make it better. So for me, the best way to fight off my own depression is to be aware of it, and then to accept it and say, okay, it's okay that I feel this way today. And knowing that I'm depressed and knowing that I don't feel good and allowing myself to feel that way will actually help me get to a better place tomorrow. So the first half of the EP is songs where I'm dealing with loss or depression, or needing a lifeline. And then the second half of the EP is where I'm either in the process of finding the opposite of loneliness and I'm happy about that journey, or I found it. And that deals with themes like being bigger than your fears, being a good person, doing the right thing, finding the person that you love and that you want to spend the rest of your life with, understanding how important that relationship is. So when you find love, you're supposed to hold on to it and tell the people that you love them. And as I'm going through that, that's bigger than, and bigger than's about being bigger than your fears and taking risks and being a good person and doing the right thing and being generous. And Miracle is about finding that person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. And 400 trillion is about knowing how special that relationship is, because there's a 1 in 400 trillion chance that we're even alive today. So when you find love, you should hold on to it and you should cherish it and you should tell the people you love that you love them. So that's kind of the progression of the EP, is going from not having the opposite of loneliness and being depressed, and to the second half of the EP where you're searching for it and you're happy and you found it.
Yeah. So it's okay to say that your EP has got a happy end? Is that right? Some kind of happy end?
I mean, it doesn't. the last song I put on the EP takes it a little bit more full circle because you can't be happy all the time. And it's called The End, and I actually released it a little while ago. And it's kind of a heartbreak song about how can we pretend for a moment that this isn't the end? And I thought it was a fitting place to end because it's kind of both. It's the idea of finding the opposite of loneliness in what is a really lonely moment, or at least pretending for a moment that it is happy. So I stuck that right at the end because I was like, haha, I'm gonna fool you all and make you sad at the end, even though you're supposed to be happy and I'm talking about happiness. So yes, it has a happy-ish ending.
Okay.
It has a to be continued.
But there's one song on the EP which is called "If You're Meant to Come Back," which is about perhaps the message is to accept that there are some things in life that you can't change. Is that right?
Yeah.
But it's sad, isn't it?
Oh, in the story of the person who I wrote it with, that person did come back. So I think it kind of goes back to the same thing. It's like if you're able to accept the depression, if you're able to accept the reality of your situation, you can turn it into a good thing. And the universe will, if the universe is meant to deliver you something back, it will. If you're meant to come back to me, you will. And being okay with that and understanding that is a path to happiness.
Do you believe in things like universe and so on?
I do. My mother always says everything happens for a reason. I don't know. I'm so lucky. I get to do what I love, and I'm happy. And I've been unhappy in my life, but I'm so blessed to do what I do, and to be able to do this for a living, and to be able to travel the world and sing my songs for people. And I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I guess I believe in the universe. I believe that if you are a good person and you do the right thing and you work really hard, then hopefully, you'll find a bit of happiness for yourself. It doesn't always work that way, and the world's not fair, but I think that's the only way we can really look at it,
Okay.
Do you?
Pardon?
Do you?
Universe? I love the universe. Yeah.
That's good because you can't do it.
No, everything happens for a reason. I don't know. Perhaps it's some kind of to calm yourself. I don't know, but this universe thing is my friend always tries to order some things from the universe. Just like I want to, and I order it from universe. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes not. But yeah.
Are you sure he hasn't confused the universe with Amazon? Because you can order things.
She always say, I have to believe it, and then it happens. I don't know if it works for her. It's okay. We talked about depression already, and we talked about music. And one of my questions is, do you think that music has the power to heal people, perhaps because they feel lonely, the opposite of loneliness, or they feel depressed? Do you think that that music has the power to heal people?
So I want to show you something. I have this album called Inspired Through Music, and it's on my phone. Let me find it. And I started doing this a couple of months ago because I get all these messages from people, and they tell me how the music has inspired them. And one of my favorite messages, wait here, let me see if I can find it. Where is my album? Basically, my favorite, so you can see, like, I just screenshot messages from people who send me, like, the messages about, like, how the music has affected them. So my favorite one is, I'll just paraphrase this. So there's a woman who sent me this message. She says, I'm a mom and I have a kid, and he is 10, but he has a learning disability. And I'll just read it. What I didn't say, because it's almost unbearable to write, is that Pete hadn't been able to tell me he loved me in all his 10 years. And though even though he's very verbal, just understanding and verbally expressing his own emotions is really hard for him. I had accepted the fact that saying "I love you" to me was just something he wasn't able to do. I had come to peace with it because I could feel his love, and he shows it in other ways. This is a mother talking about her 10-year-old son. Until a few months ago, when 400 trillion came out. After we figured out 400 trillion helped with his anxiety, it became his go-to song. He loves numbers, so I think he was drawn in by the title and cover, and then just really connected with the music and lyrics from there. A few months ago, we were listening, and he asked me what I thought the song was about. I told him that someone figured out that there's a 1 in 400 trillion chance. And then I lost it. There's a 1 in 400 trillion chance that we are born the unique individual that we are. And because that chance is so tiny, it's really special that we are exactly who we are, and that we should celebrate that, dancing on the rooftops. This is a message I have tried to talk to him about since his diagnosis of autism at age 2. He doesn't yet know that he is autistic. I want him to understand himself first and really understand that everyone is a unique individual, and that that's a good thing before I explain to him that there's a name for how his brain is wired a bit differently, and why he may feel like he has more challenges than other kids his age, and also some incredible gifts. He thus far has not internalized this difference, or at least has not said anything about it, but this message is really crucial for a neurodivergent kid to understand. Well, after I explained my interpretation of 400 trillion, he looked up to me and just said, "I love you, mommy." I was absolutely, and then I floored. Tears are streaming down my face as I write this now, because he tells me he loves me all the time, and I will never take it for granted because I waited a whole decade to hear that. Justin, I really can't thank you enough for that, and thank you for providing a way for me to start to explain to my son his neurodiversity within the context of a song with which he deeply connects. Anyway, yeah.
I am too emotional for things like that.
So,
oh my God.
I need a Kleenex now. I'll be right back.
Yeah, me too. Oh God.
Oh. Yeah. So yes, music can affect people.
That was the first time in my life me and my interview partner started to cry. I was just like, don't do it. But it's so, yeah, I don't know. I know what you mean.
Oh my God.
Oh.
So can music help people?
Yeah, yes. Crazy. Yeah, but there's some kind of, you can say music helps people, but it's just a sentence, But if you read something like this, everybody knows what you mean. That is a big difference. Because everybody, I think a lot of people say, oh yeah, music can help people and so on. But you've got some examples for it, and that's the special thing about it. Yeah. Okay.
And so I only have 10 pictures of those saved, but I have over the years have had hundreds of messages like that, and talking to people, there's hundreds of stories of, you helped me get through my alcoholism, you helped me get through my miscarriage, you helped me get through my depression, you helped me get through the hardest time in my life, losing my father, losing my mother, losing my loved one, losing my boyfriend, losing my girlfriend. It just, the list is endless of the amount of times where people have come up and said this to me. And so that's why I do what I do.
Yeah, cool. So you seem to have the right job.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, cool. But let's talk about your jobs and about your plans for 2022. We've got September, and I stalked you on Instagram, I stalked you on social media, and I saw you had a picture with George Clooney, which is pretty cool. But what are you going to do the next weeks and month? I mean, we've got the EP, we've got the release on 16th. And what are your plans for the rest of the year?
So I just shot a music video. There's a release party this evening in Berlin.
This evening.
Sorry, excuse me. At Sony tonight.
Okay.
So then I'm going to London for a couple of days to do some writing and some meetings. Then I go to what do I do? Then I go home to Los Angeles for the first time in 4 months.
Wow. Okay.
So I get home, I have about a week, a little less than a week. I'm shooting another music video for Miracle, which is going to be centered around a dog adoption, which I'm very excited about. We're going to throw an event with dogs and have an adoption event for dogs, and I cannot.
Oh, okay.
And what was I saying? Oh, and then I go to Vegas. The 16th is the EP comes out, on the 17th I go to Vegas. I do a Kygo show. I come back and then I write. I have a couple of weeks of just writing.
Yeah.
And then I probably have a couple more performances before the end of the year. I've got Kygo is doing something in Madison Square Garden, so I'm going to join him for that. And then he has a tour in South America, so I'll join him for that. And then it's looking like I'll be back overseas to do a show at some point before the end of the year out here. And then next year, hopefully we go into my album cycle, and I'm writing for an album now. So that's kind of currently the plan.
Yeah.
And the holidays are like around the corner, and I can't wait to spend that time with my family.
So your to-do list is has some, you have some jobs to do in the next month and week.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel like there's a lot of touring still left to do.
Yeah.
Some of my own, some of Kygo. But there's a lot of writing to do. So that's kind of what's on my agenda next is in the studio and making new music, because 2023 isn't going to write itself. So it's time for me to go take all of these travels and everything I've learned and put it into music and see what I come up with. Yeah, so that's the plan.